Welcome, everyone. I am Kendrick Calkins. I am the project manager for the proposed project of the Buena Vista City Park renovation. I have brought you all here today so that we can talk about the possible ideas and investments that can be made into this project. I feel like it can be a great asset to the community to renovate this park. In this presentation, you will find out many things about this proposal and you can give me feedback on what you think should be done. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first, why is this project needed? The park condition is in very bad condition. Our crime rate, especially in our youth, is very high. The real estate in the area needs to be brought up more because the park is damaging its real estate price. And last, it is just a sore eye to the community. As I said before, the park is in very poor condition. It is dangerous because of the wires, the cracks, the holes, just a lot of things, many things that can hurt our people, and it's needed to be cleaned up. There are no up to date resources such as there is no playground at our park, and this, come on, that's disrespectful. We can do better than that. And there is wild vegetation everywhere. Our nature trail has grown into a part of the woods. So, as a whole, the park needs to be reconstructed. On to the next thing, crime rate. Our crime rate has gone up, and we have to do something about it before it gets out of control. Our youth is not outside doing the right things. They are vandalizing, trespassing, even robbing, and that's not something that we need. And a park gives the youth somewhere to go in substitution for those bad things. Now, let's talk about real estate. As you know, the houses and buildings in this area are very good. However, the park has diminished the price of what the real estate in this area could be set at. And it is this reason I say we should renovate the park because, as you know, parks make the price of real estate go up in the area surrounding the park because it it is a great image for the community, especially if the park is in great condition. Okay, let's talk about what will need to happen. First, we have the objectives, next, goals, onto the processes. Now we have the risk, cost benefits, and resources required. First, let's go over our goals. We want to renovate the park. The renovation of the park will be the key to all of our goals. Next, we want to decrease crime. The renovation of the park will allow for us to make an attractive place for the youth to go to enjoy themselves instead of the streets or other bad things that they can be involved in. Next, we want to increase the real estate. Also, as a result of the renovation of the park, the real estate will go up, possibly skyrocket, in the case that we renovate the park. We will then want to bring money to the local economy. Hopefully, and I really believe we will, the park will be a sensation. People will come from outside of our community, and this will bring money to our economy of the locals. It will it will have the visitors using their money that they're bringing from the outside into us, and it will really make our economy boost. Okay, let's talk about the objectives. First, we have the new parking lot, the new driveway, the renovation of the nature trail, the basketball court reconstruction, the tennis court reconstruction, and the playground construction. Before we dive into the parking lot, let's talk about why we need a new parking lot. For starters, we've never had one. People have had to park on the side of the road and walk to the park. That's not us. We are better than that. Our park needs a parking lot. Simple. And I am proposing a 10,000 square foot parking lot, which will be able to fit 30 cars. This is plenty of enough, and I really think that we will be able to implement this into our project. The parking lot will be gravel, and it will be great for the project. Next, let's talk about our driveway. We've had a driveway, but can you really call it that? It is all dirt, and it has been eroded from years of weathering, and no one has did anything to make it better. This is why I am proposing a gravel driveway that will be a fifth of a mile long. It will also be 15 feet wide, allowing for cars to pass on both sides, and it will make people be able to get to the park easier and making the park more accessible. So the driveway and the park construction are very vital things that will help bring visitors into the park before they even see the new park renovation. Okay, let's dive in. We want to reconstruct the basketball court. This will include a 4,450 square foot asphalt court with a length of 92 feet and a width of 48 feet. We will need two 10-foot basketball goals, one on each side of the court. We will then paint a 3-point lane, a free throw lane, and a box lane. We will then fence in the basketball court with 6,060 square feet of metal fencing. The fencing will be 5 feet high. After the basketball construction, we need to implement the tennis court. The court should be 2,808 square feet. The net should measure 12.8 meters, and it should be 3.5 feet high on the sides and 3 feet high in the middle. The paint must equal all tennis recreation guidelines. The fence must measure 4,048 square feet around the tennis court. Next, to my favorite part of the project, the playground construction. To start off the playground construction, we must first spread out the mulch. It will be rubber mulch measuring 800 square feet and 3 inches deep. After we spread out the mulch, we will then implement the playset construction on top of the mulch. We will then fence in the area with 1,008 square feet of fencing, and the fencing will be 5 feet high. Last, we have the nature trail reconstruction. The nature trail reconstruction will be a fifth of a mile long on the nature trail, and it will be 15 feet wide. Before we do these things, we need to clear out the area of all vegetation with Roundup or anything, the bulldozers that we have, to just make sure that the ground is even and that all vegetation is out of the way for our visitors who will be on the nature trail. In this project, we have a number of processes. The first process that we have is the pre-planning. The pre-planning will consist of many things such as the project charter, the stakeholders, the permissions that we need, and many other things that we need to start off this project on the right foot. We then have deliverables. The deliverables consist of the risk management plan, the budget, the WBS chart, those things that can help us keep track of our project and make sure that it is on the right route. We then have the construction. The construction consists of all those objectives that I listed. The parking lot construction, the driveway construction, the basketball court construction, tennis court, playground, and nature trail. We then have the project performance. This is where we collect all data, such as the cost tracking, so that we know what we spent, how much we spent, and those type of things. We will then have the closing, which will be the reporting part of our project, telling the results that the project has had on the community and just how we did overall. Now, on to our risk and mitigations. Our first risk that we have identified is mistakes in the pre-planning stage. Our most experienced workers will oversee this planning stage because they have the most experience, and even though it won't guarantee mistakes from happening, it will lower the chances since they have the most experience. Next, we have a delay in schedule. We are on a 5-day work week, and of course, there are 7 days in a week. I gave these days. I have these days for days off. However, we can use these for days to catch back up on our project. Next, we have project safety. We have a worker's handbook and we have protective gear. The worker's handbook will give the workers ideas of what to do in certain situations. It will also tell who can do what, such as working heavy machinery and things of this nature. The protective gear will keep our workers from getting safety or possibly making the situation better than what it would be without the protective gear. Next, we have cost tracking. Cost tracking flaws can happen because of inexperience. This is why we plan on having more experienced workers in this field, in this phase of our project. Last, we have the reporting flaw, which will have the more experienced worker, me myself, the project manager, doing this because I have done these things before and I can limit what mistakes can possibly happen. Now, let's talk about our costs and benefits. Our benefits come up to be $420,400, while our costs come up to be $437,429.50. Our benefits include health benefits, real estate benefits, less crime, and local economy boost. Our costs include implementation, the upkeep of our facilities, and other opportunities that we missed out on. Here's a link to our cost and benefits sheet so you can get a broader overview of what our cost and benefits look like. The needed resources for this project will be a tennis netting system, asphalt, gravel, high-powered chainsaws, bulldozer, a dump truck, rubber mulch, human labor, a playset, fencing, and paint. In order for this project to launch, we will need a communication plan, a revision plan, and a way to measure our success. We are now on to our communication plan. Our communication plan is how everyone, all of our stakeholders, will communicate within our project and keep up to date with things. We will communicate with our mayor, our city council, different citizens in the community, and then of course our workers, our project manager, our assistant project manager. Everyone will be tied into a communication plan who will all be keeping up with our daily tasks and any changes or anything really dealing with the project. And these will be on a set date, and some of them will be as needed. Here's a link to our communication plan if you would like to view it in a broader view. Now, on to our measurable success. First, the rise in visitors. We plan on keeping up with the rise in visitors through attendance. We will keep up with how many people visit us each day. Next, we want to see a spike of people moving to our city. The spike of people moving to our city will be measured by just the eyes view. We will keep up with how many people move in after the renovation of our project. Next, we must finish within our 20-week schedule. The reason for this is because our schedule is closely related to our budget because we have to pay our workers, and if we have to pay them for another week, that is just more money into our budget that we did not plan for. Next, let's finish within our budget. This will be done by cost tracking, keeping up with what we paid for, and everything that is monetary in our project. Now, on to our revision plan. Revisions will be made throughout the project. Things that will change the project will be made by the project manager, and he will communicate these things with the investors. He will communicate these things with the investors because they have a great deal in this project because they have invested in it, and they have the right to have a say-so in what can be changed and what will not be changed. Other revisions that can happen are things in schedule, which will be made by the project manager and assistant project manager. It will then be communicated down to the leads and the rest of the workers. And this is how This is how we plan on doing our revision plan.